Hi guys, good afternoon. Happy Monday. It's January 5th, 2026. I hope your year is going well. It's only a few days in. So let's just get into it. Taco said we will make people of Venezuela rich, independent, and safe. So we want to show you exactly when he said that. So here it is.
What we were able to do and accomplish will make the people of Venezuela rich, independent, and safe.
Okay, so he's making that commitment. That's a lie. It's a bait and switch. Where have we heard that before? Okay, let's just go a little bit further back here. This is the State of Union, March 2025. He said this to all of us, State of the Union.
About making America rich again and making
America rich again.
America great again. And
okay, forget about the great part. We've heard that 1 trillion times, so let's just leave that aside. But this concept of make America rich again is important because of the tariffs. So he's talking about the tariffs, making America great, making America rich again from the tariffs. It has not made us rich from the tariffs. We've whatever money we've collected, it's all gone. There's no money to be had or shared, let alone a check. Okay, and if he sends a check, it's going to be borrowed money, which only increases our national debt, which we've talked about many times. But the money from the tariffs has not made us rich. They're all gone. Okay, not rich, and the money is gone. Okay, here we go.
All I know is this: we're going to take in hundreds of billions of dollars in tariffs. And we're going to become so rich, you're not going to know where to spend all that money. I'm telling you, you just watch.
This was in March also.
We're going to have open factories. It's going to be great.
Okay, so that's important. And then here we go again. He's talking about wealth.
Very wealthy. We could be so much wealthier than any country. It's not even believable, but we're getting smart. Nearly a century later, in the face of unrelenting economic warfare, the United States can no longer continue with a policy of unilateral economic surrender. We cannot pay the deficits of Canada, Mexico, and so many other countries. We used to do it. We can't do it anymore. We take care of countries all over the world. We pay for.
Okay, he's just going on rambling, but the whole point of it is he says tariffs will do this. This is in March. Here is him talking about this in April, I believe.
We're think of that, $2 billion a day. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money even in the coal business, isn't it? Huh? It's a lot of money. And America's going to be very rich again very soon. You're going to see that happening. You see it all along. And it's so that whole situation that, it was somewhat explosive. But if we didn't do that, we wouldn't be talking the way we're talking right now. It's been amazing what's happened. Sometimes you have to mix it up a little bit, but we've had great consideration. We've had talks with many countries, over 70. They all want to come in. Our problem is can't see that many that fast. But we don't have to because, as you know, the tariffs are on.
Okay, this is about the tariffs again. Okay, I think we have one or two more clips. I think this one.
We've taken in trillions of dollars. We're rich again. And there'll never be, when we finish this out, there'll never be any wealth like what we have. Other countries were taking advantage of us for years and years. You know that better than anybody. And now we're treating them fairly. But the money coming in is, we've never seen anything like it.
So the money coming in, where is the money? The money is gone. It's coming in and it's being spent, okay? And we'll later find out through the hearings exactly what happened to the money and how much he and other individuals from the administration and elsewhere have taken this money, okay? So the point is, he has told American people, he's told stupid MAGA that he's going to make them rich from the tariffs. So they supported the tariffs. The tariffs have hurt them, have hurt all Americans, okay? We can talk endlessly about those reasons and that evidence, empirical evidence of that. But the point here is simple, okay? He is claiming he's going to make Venezuelans rich. He is not. He has not made us rich. He has not made Americans rich. So how is he going to make Venezuelans rich? And he used the tariffs as the basically bait for us, bait and switch. He basically claimed that he's going to make us rich from doing the tariffs. Just give me the runway and let me do my thing. And he's not. He's collecting a shitload of money, hundreds of billions of dollars, maybe $400 or $500 billion as we speak. As of January 5th, right? We'll find out the final number when the Supreme Court makes its ruling and it rules against him. Then we'll find out what that number is. And so also through the press and reporting, but it's more than $400 billion, and that money's gone. Okay, so we're not going to see any check. We're not going to see any residuals. We're not being and we're not going to be rich. And so, just so you understand, if he gave each one of us $2,000, okay, and the American people, that would equate to more than $600 billion. So I don't think we're there yet. So $2,000 is not rich. Okay, just so you understand. So he basically conned us in this bait and switch. So Venezuelan people, he's going to do the same thing. Okay, just so you understand. And by the way, he's saying that, and he's using our military, he's using our resources, he's using our money to finance the oil companies, the financial companies, any company that wants into Venezuela and that could not get in, we're financing it just like we did financing for Iraq. Remember Iraq, we spent more than $2 trillion, and then by 2050, they say $3 trillion. Just so you understand the math, $2 trillion, equates to more than $5,000 per American, that lives in the United States, 343 million. And $3 trillion is more than $8,000 per person in America, in the United States, okay? 343 million people, $8,000 by 2050. We didn't see any money. We didn't see any oil. We weren't rich. And by the way, Iraq is not rich. Okay, the people in Iraq is not rich. So the people in Iraq are not rich. We're not rich. We paid between we're right now paying at 5,000. It will increase to 8,000. So we're going to subsidize these companies, oil companies, finance companies, other companies, public companies especially, and Taco, who has an invested stake in all of this, to enrich themselves. Not the Venezuelan people, not Americans. Okay, so they're not rich. They're going to get rich. We weren't rich from the tariffs. He benefited. We'll find out the final numbers when we have these hearings, how much he enriched himself and the people associated with this tariff scam. So does that make sense to you guys? Iraq did not make us rich. Okay, it did not make Iraqis rich. Okay, we are in this debt $5,000 to $8,000 per person, between $2 to $3 trillion at a minimum. The actual cost is actually more, but that's what they're publicly putting out. So I'll use those numbers. So the tariffs, okay, it's costing us inflation, and we're paying for it. It did not make us rich. We did not get a check. We're not rich. We're not seeing any benefit. We're paying for it. The countries and the population of the places that we've had these tariffs, they're not rich. They've not benefited. They're losing money in business, and many companies outside the United States, inside the United States, are filing for bankruptcy. How is filing for bankruptcy making people rich because of tariffs? So now the third part is Venezuela. Venezuela is going to cost us. I mean, it may cost us $5,000 to $8,000 per American. Whatever it is, we don't have the money. Okay, if it's $1 or $5,000, we don't have the money because our debt is now $38 trillion. How can we afford to basically subsidize and finance the stock growth of these corporations? If it's Chevron, whoever it is, if it's U.S. companies or outside U.S. companies like Royal Dutch Shell or BP, okay, or Exxon or Chevron or any of these majors or oil service companies or any construction companies like Caterpillar and whatever, because they would all have to go in there. We would finance that, and we would be paying whatever, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000. in Iraq's case, up to 8,000 or more per American. For what? What do we get in return? We get this propaganda from Taco saying we are America first. America first, that has to pay for him to enrich himself and these companies, which doesn't make any sense. And the Venezuelan people will not make any money from this. As I said earlier when I posted, the GDP for the United States is about 80,000, okay, per capita. For Venezuela, it's about 4,000. Okay, so obviously any upside would help, but this situation is not going to enrich them. And by the way, when you had Chavez and Maduro, you had the Chinese and the Russians involved. They didn't enrich the Venezuelan people. So when you have Taco in there, what track record does he have to enrich these people from 4,000 GDP per capita? And by the way, this 4,000 may seem like okay. It's not okay because their inflation is hundreds of percent, which I also sent out earlier. It's 682% annualized. So when you have 682% annualized, a 4,000, even a 4,000 GDP per capita is basically worth nothing because inflation is hundreds of percent on an annualized basis. So enriching them, how? It is not enriching them. It is enriching Taco, his partners, and including these oil companies. And even on CNBC, there's going to be a consortium that goes into Venezuela in March. This is the reason why we need to stop it. We need to be informed. We need to communicate this information. This is not just Iraq 2.0 or deja vu or whatever you want to call it. This is something that we can't afford. If we can't afford health care for Americans, and because we're now having to pay higher premiums because the subsidies are gone, and Taco and Congress, especially MAGA and Republicans, are saying that we can't afford it, how can we afford to finance these oil companies and financial companies and banks and anybody that wants to get into Venezuela, knowing that they have, as we said, $18 trillion, $17 trillion at a minimum for the oil, 303 billion barrels of oil, and 8 to 10 metric tons of gold. When you add that up, that's $18 trillion. We don't see any of that money. Venezuelan people don't see that money. And by the way, the same thing happened in Iraq. The same thing happens everywhere. So this scam is a bait and switch. Do not fall for it. Fight back.